welcome back. I'm Stephanie, representing I'm Aware.
And I'm Ebony, representing ENDTs and Ebonionics.
And together we make Group Economics.
See the shirt? Get you a shirt.
Yes, check us out.
It's not like the other ones you saw. See the color difference?
Yes.
See the change? If you buy a shirt, just know that any of the proceeds of those shirts go to some of the events that we have, like our warm weather wear, our mobile Friendsgiving, and we're actually co-hosting or assisting hosting a
back to school drive, August the 12th, 2023, located at Mr. V's off Kinsman.
Like 152nd, 153rd area.
Yes. Yeah, by the main person hosting it is Soul Foundation, also known as Wolfpack Towing. Yes, so check us out, check our page out, and get as much information as needed.
Yeah.
Hope to see you all there.
Yeah, if you have some supplies you would like to give, come on out and donate. If you have a child that's in need and needs some back to school supplies, come on out. We're giving out back to school gear.
Yeah,
you know,
be ready. It's almost that time.
If you want to buy a shirt, let us know and we'll bring it in. You can purchase it, and that'll go. Those proceeds again will go towards
mobile Friendsgiving,
any of the activities that we have, and we're gonna have them all listed on our website, on our Instagrams, on our Facebooks, YouTube, anywhere you have us. And don't we have TikTok?
Yes, we have TikTok. We are definitely on the TikTok platform.
Look us out on TikTok.
Yeah.
So we started off, we're both t-shirt printers, and we started off as t-shirt printing companies, and we decided to come together for a joint venture, and we made Group Economics. It started off as just shirts, and then we decided like, hey, no, we really, really want to give back to our community. So you see us today because we wanted to basically raise awareness to different things that go on in our community.
Yes, so our ultimate goal is networking with like-minded successors to accomplish economic growth and helping others obtain skills because it is absolutely necessary.
Absolutely necessary. Yes. So in order to do that, basically we said that, you know what, let's come together and let's do some things like these podcasts. Let's do some things like the mobile Friendsgiving. Let's go ahead and give out those meals, the warm weather wear, because we know there's a lot of people less fortunate than us. So we said, hey, let's get together and let's try to do some things for our community. Our main reason for this podcast /vlog / whatever you want to call it, you know, if you've been watching us for a long time, you see we in a different location. You like, where they at? Where they at? Green. You see how the green matches our green? Yeah, you like that? But our main topic for these vlogs is basically perception. And perception of how it drives what you think, what you do, your just everyday life. And if your perception that's how you make decisions based off of whatever it is that you're perceiving. And perception is driven by a lot of different things, like your knowledge base, where you grew up at, your environment. It's a lot of different things that affect your perception. So we started off our podcast with one topic, and it was thug. We have acronyms. Just so you know, thug ain't thug, but it is. So go back and check our previous episodes and look for thug and what it means. We then drove into haters. Everybody has a hater. Haters are not always bad. Sometimes haters are good. You know,
they say always negative and positive.
Yeah. They say the highest form of flattery is having somebody copy what you do. Usually a hater. Not all the time. I mean, hey. Yeah. But check out what that means, because each letter means something in the acronym. So check out that episode. And then we drove to PTSD, and we took a positive spin on that, and how you could take PTSD and prepare yourself and become better with PYT. Not these pretty young things. I know you see these pretty young things, but not us. Not us. Okay. But figure out what that PYT means. You go ahead and check back on the previous episodes, and you can see what PYT means. And then we got a little bit more controversial on this last one.
A little touchy.
Yeah, it got a little touchy, and we started talking about bitch and nigga. But it's not what you think. Again, these are acronyms, and we took a positive spin on those words. Because now when someone calls you that, you can kind of take it and put a positive spin on it and not get offended, you know?
Yes.
Don't get offended by the stuff that people don't know, you know?
Right.
So, again, check out those episodes, because those led us to where we're at now and what we're going to be talking about today.
And today's topic is POUR. Provide, offer, uplift, and rebuild.
So we ain't talking about pouring something in your cup.
Yes.
We talking about pour.
Yes.
Pouring into people, pouring into things, and how you can provide, you can offer, you can uplift, and you can rebuild.
Yes.
Because you can rebuild anything if you are really trying to just pour into people. You want to pour into that. You want to pour into relationships. You want to pour into your children, to your family, into your community. Right. As we're trying to do. Yes. We're trying to pour. We're trying to provide, offer, uplift, and rebuild. We want to rebuild our community so where they were back in the glory days. You know, back in the day when you could go spend $1 and get you a juicy juice and some candy and a bag, 2 bags of chips
and
at the time. And a little Debbie, and that was your
money.
meal.
Now.
That was your meal for the day. If you didn't even you had that $1, ooh, you can eat good with that. Yes. So we're just going to talk about how we're pouring. And in our last episode, we talked about the 7 learning styles. What's those 7 learning styles?
So our 11 learning styles are a physical learner, a visual learner, a auditorial learner, a social learner, a solitary learner, a verbal learner, a logical learner, and kinesthetics, which is physical, and the physical aspect of learning.
So so those 7 again, just in case you didn't get it: visual, auditory, physical, verbal, logical, social, and solitary. In our last episode, we kind of touched on which learning styles we believe we were. I know for a fact that I am definitely a logical learner, because if it don't make sense to me, I ain't doing this. Like, if it don't make dollars,
it doesn't make sense.
It ain't making no change for me. So it's gotta make sense to me. And Miss Jones said that you think yours was more of a kinesthetics, more of a doer, hands-on, auditorial learner. But looking back and bringing us to today's episode is really, geared towards what I'm doing at the time. Yeah.
So
and you can be a different type of learner in different environments. So just know that it's not stuck to one. It's just that we all have a main one that kind of drives. Like we said, we talk about perception, right? So you're based off your perception and how you learn, that's how you see things. So me, I'm very logical, and if it ain't making sense, I know how to be funny, because I got a sense of humor. Trust me, I'm me and her friends. Trust me, I got a sense of humor. And our second language is sarcasm.
Yes.
And so I can be very funny, but people might not find what I find funny. Right. Whereas opposed to
I mean, it's hilarious.
I think it's hilarious, but people don't be thinking it's hilarious. They like, that's not funny. It was funny to me. So I'm very logical with my sense of learning, but I'm very visual too. Like, she'll tell me a direction and be like, down the street and around the corner. That's her measurement of time. We talked about that in another episode. Check it out. Down the street and around the corner is her. Down the street around the corner could literally be, I'm in Garfield and she wants me to go all the way over to East Cleveland, and I'm like, that's not down the street and around the corner. But
unless it was like, Walmart down the street around, but it's still, it's a measurement. It's a measurement of time. And a lot of people use it, so for what it's worth, it's not as bad, but it is a new day and age.
That's why I'm not verbal and I'm visual. So give me some landmarks. Tell me to hit down the street, Burger King, left at the right aid, right now, you're down the street around the corners, whatever, and I'm gonna talk about you later. However, I'm gonna know where I'm going because you verbally gave me some visual signs. So I can be visual, but I'm more of a verbal learner as well as logical. I gotta see it. I gotta see it and understand it, and if I don't, I'm gonna ask questions. And some people probably find that very presumptuous, or they might find it aggressive because I'm gonna ask a question, and they might feel offended because I'm asking a question.
But you want to know what's going on, so it's really nothing wrong with that. And I learned too, not taking things too personal in a sense to they're asking for a reason. Just like in a sense when the kids tattletale or someone's tattletale, well, they're doing that in a sense because they want to know how to figure it out. So it's like, dang, we keep going this like, hey, Miss Stephanie, Miss Joe, Miss Stella, what's wrong? Help me, help you, help us. How do we do that? So we want to get into these learning styles to properly pour in real life information from the situations that you deal with. So we want to pour and make poor choices, the right poor choices.
Right.
Yes, definitely. Provide, offer, uplift, and rebuild.
So you want to pour into your situation. You want to learn your learning style, and you want to learn your children's learning style. You want to learn your parents' learning style. You definitely co-workers. That's very key. And you might not know them, but you can kind of watching people. So when you sit back and watch somebody, you'll learn naturally what their learning styles is, and you can start to understand. You know what somebody told me one time, and one of my mentors told me, you can, if you understand somebody, you can stand somebody. So you can stand and tolerate and deal with people, especially coworkers. That's the people we gotta stand. Yeah. You ain't gotta stand certain things.
But you're there for a purpose.
Yeah. So
y'all trying to get something done.
So you can stand someone that you understand. And once people learn to understand me, they're like, it's gotta make sense to her. So I gotta explain it from X, Y, Z, or she just gonna look at me like, yeah, that don't make sense, and I might not do it. If I can't understand it, I'm not gonna do it. You're not gonna. I'm not the person you can say, go in that bank, give them this note, and come back out. I'm not that person. You're gonna have to tell me from X, Y, Z.
I need a why. I am working.
If we robbing the bank, you better tell me, because I'm not gonna do it unless you tell me and I'm in on it. Like you're not about to be like, go in there, handle this note, and come back out.
No. We not learning the hard way. No.
I'm not doing that. Like you're not making sense to me.
Is it hard? No.
I'm not going nowhere. You're not gonna send me around the corner. What I ain't gonna say what my grandma used to say, because she liked to use the S word. So I'm gonna say, you're not gonna pour salt in the cookie and then tell me it's a sugar cookie. You can't do that. You're not gonna, because I'm gonna taste it and be like, this is salty.
Yeah.
It's not sweet.
No.
Yeah, you can't.
No.
You not gonna fool me to make this. And not that I feel like a fool, it's just that it has to make sense to me. Yeah. And once I understand, I can do it. Yeah. So if you want to love someone properly, it's like Steph said, it's like learning the love language. Yes. You got to learn their learning style, because, we talked about this before, we have children. So we always tie this to our children, to our families, to the situation, real life situations.
Yes, absolutely.
We are not glorified psychiatrists. We are not glorified anything, but we have done some studies. We do have some certifications behind us, and we have talked to some like almost therapy. Done some therapy sessions and parenting sessions.
Yeah, definitely. I've done both and still doing some, literally. So, because I want to be able to provide, offer, uplift, and rebuild my circle on a daily, because no one's perfect in learning these learning styles, even as the children, even as our teenagers grow. When they were 0 through 10, in a sense, the learning style might have been different, or they might have had the same one at a particular time, but now that they're getting older and literally getting distracted by different things that they're liking and living life based off their experience from home, and then what they do when they're outside the house, they definitely have their own perception and outlook on what's going on. So it's like, does it make sense to them? Are they being logical now? Are they making logical decisions?
Or are they making social decisions?
Or making social decisions,
Is it a solitary? Is it learning socially? Because a lot of kids do learn socially. They'll get, so you gotta watch where your kids are, not just the people, the kid, the parents and the things that they watch. It's the kids that they're around, because some kids are exposed to way more than or way less. So some people might call your kid a square because they're not exposed to as much, whereas another person will say, hey, I like squares, I make my cake in squares. Sometimes my cornbread is in a square. I don't
get straight to the point, because
straight to the point. But then some kids are exposed to a lot more,
where it's hard for them to really obtain, because they trying to grab it from so many parts, because they just know too much, and they didn't have the wisdom at the time to like, oh, is this really for me at this time? So they were getting too much poured in their cup.
Little Scrappy said it the best, and I don't know if y'all watch Ratchet TV. Shouts out to them. I used to watch Love and Hip Hop all the time, but on Ratchet TV, Scrappy said it the best when he was talking to his mother one time. He said, I was exposed too much. He was raised inside of he was raised inside of what you call a whorehouse almost, and so he saw John's coming in and John's coming out, and that's what he grew up to know. So to him, his mindset and his perception is that's normal. So when he grows up, he even said his partner that he was with, he didn't know how to love her right. She always buck, I'm always buck. when does it stop? When does it end? So he had to like relearn himself, especially once you have kids. You have to relearn yourself, because do you really want your kid to grow up like that, or do you want them to grow up different?
Yeah.
Do you really want to install these same things? So in a sense, when you are exposed to more, you do learn a little bit quicker, but you live a little bit quicker, and sometimes that show on your face too, and on your body, and the way so
your mannerisms, just how you deal with situations. So
perception.
Yeah.
And how you pour into others, because we've learned that people that are in less they're a little bit less fortunate areas, they don't know how to uplift, they don't know how to rebuild. A lot of their times is spent either leaving, running, or surviving. So they just learn to survive.
Yeah.
They're not thriving. They're surviving. So their pour is a little bit different than a pour that might be somebody that grew up in somebody like Solon. So they might be able to pour a little different than someone else. And your pour, even if it's a cap full, is still something. But if you want to effectively pour into your family, your society, your neighborhood, into your children, into your coworkers, if you want to effectively pour into people, you're gonna have to learn a little bit more. And shoot, I ain't gonna tell you how old I am. I ain't about to go there. But I will say this: if you get to this age, and you're almost in your 40s, you're near your 40s or mid 40s or whatever, you want to be able to effectively pour into people, because
absolutely, because we're losing a little bit of that, and we're in the age of the no. So it's like the little people could pour in us, but if we're not trying to be creative, and also help learn with them and teach them what we know, then it's like we're doing a disservice in a sense.
Very much so.
Yeah.
We don't want our kids to grow up like we grew up. We want them to be better than us and thrive and go past us, so they can come on the journey with us. Like our oldest came on the journey with us, but we want them to succeed where we went and go past and beyond. So for generations and generations, we just growing. We don't want to be like, well, my grandmama raised me like this, and I'm just stop there.
Oh yeah, I learned that the hard way. Side note: my granddad is a pastor. All I know is church life up until my children were born, maybe between the ages of like 0 through 5, and then I became one with the world. I'm so glad it didn't chew me up and spit me out like wholeheartedly. I still had so much greatness in me that it didn't take it all out of me, and that was like perfect. And I'm glad I recognized that after I got out the world. So my granddad, him and my brother, they always want to pray with me, praise with me, and I love on that, because that's another secret love language that if you know, you know.
Yeah.
So I respect that. But he told me the other day, I want to get you back to church. I'm like, granddad, you all the church I need. Like, I got a pastor. I'm a person.
I've gotten her to come to church before, so
I have.
You gotta let people go on their terms and meet them where they're at.
Oh yeah, so, and nothing's wrong with it at all. But it was just funny, because that's his love language, and his learning skill for him is his particular book that he loves, and I can definitely gain something from it. But then me being in the world and then also learning on my own terms, I can collab those two together, and that's what's really got me on the path that I'm at right now, and even brought us to this level. You know.
Because as Steph said, my background was never in the church.
Yeah, so vice versa in a sense.
So she was in the church and I was not.
Yeah.
I was out here, but not out here in the sense of I was out here, but I didn't grow up in the church. I started being introduced. My grandmother's always introduced me to the church. It was when I got to college I found my way, and I said, you know what, it's got to be better, because I was in a survival mode for a long time of my life. And even though my mother tried, and she was a single mom for a little bit, was married to my father and divorced and all that, even though all of that happened, I still had to learn to survive. I was the oldest, so I had to move a little quicker, because she still had 3 other children she had to raise, so I had to help out with that. And then on top of helping out with that, my mother did a great job, so don't ever think that she just did a horrible job, because I wouldn't be here today. She did have me young. She was 16 when she had me, so of course, like, we growing up together. It's hard raising her too, y'all, so y'all help me. We still raising her. We still trying to get her together.
Right. Hey, you gotta be transparent. Yes.
Hey, Mom.
Yes, definitely. She's a great gal. Yeah. Definitely.
So, but your learning style is helping if you don't ever even be realize that, oh, I have a learning style and that's what helps drive some of the things I do. Just like you don't realize you have a perception of something, and you don't realize that's what drives you to do what you do. It can lead you in situations and you can be going down a recycling path. You could be like a Ferris wheel all day long. You just doing this.
And it can be just a slight different, as people come on and off and just see.
You might stop and go back around. You might go backwards for a second, then come back around. Like you're in a circle. Where, like we said, we like squares. Like, honestly, triangle, I have a mentor that told me a triangle. We're like a triangle. No one person has more value than the other, and if we work together, we create a pyramid. Like they say, the pyramids have been around. The pyramids have been around for forever, and they're one of the greatest builders ever. Right. And my thing is, if you can be a triangle, and they even say that in your relationships. They say, if you got you, him, and God, or you, her, God, that's like that 3 corners. You hitting 3 corners. Again, we're not pushing you to do whatever your religion is your religion, but right around here, I believe in my Jesus Christ is my personal savior, So, with the 7 learning styles and the thing, we want to talk about things that we let get in the way of our learning. Okay. So with those 7 learning styles, you might not even know which one you are. If you read up on them, and we have more, we'll have more information. If you read up on the different learning styles, you might kind of pinpoint which one you are. And again, you can be all of them at certain different times in your life.
Yeah, definitely. For a particular longer than
you can be all of them if you have to, but
yes.
It's kind of hard to be all of them all the time. It's just depending on the environments that you're in. But if you start to learn the learning style, you can improve your perception overall if you know all of them and what they contribute. And you won't be a one-trick pony because you'll be a well-rounded person.
No, that's right. Yeah. We don't need no one-trick ponies.
Nah.
Yeah. Just sit. No.
Right.
Because you even have to learn your dog's learning style. It's just different. And I got 3 huskies, sidebar, and they cracked me up. I had to wash their face today. And we did the little one first, the baby first, and the big one the whole time. The uncle, he just barking. And he saw how the young one was acting. So when it was his turn, guess who acted like he had some sense?
The oldest one?
Like he knew what to do. And it was the quickest hour in the world to be with the dogs, but it was about learning their learning styles and still pouring into them the same thing. Same as I told the father of the pups. I'm mama and that's pop. But it's and the same token is we still be kind to them. Yes, they're here to protect us, but we still have to gear towards their love language and pour and tell them, good job, thank you for sitting still. Here's a treat. You know what I'm saying? Whereas our kids, we want to obtain those things.
Attitudes of gratitude help you pour.
Yeah.
So when you want to pour into someone, you want to provide, offer, uplift, and rebuild. You have to learn the things that get in your way. The things, because that's coming them. The things that get in your way. And one of the things that I was researching and I learned that is pride.
Oh, that's a big one.
Pride is a big one.
Yeah, that's very
pride
big.
To have you like, I'm 50 years old. I don't need to learn nothing else. Okay.
I can't be a part of that. You got to be willing to open up to something.
I didn't know that 50 was a stopping point where your brain stopped growing. So that, in a sense, is like crazy to me. Yeah. And that's the type of thing. Like if you are self-aware, and we talked about self-awareness and not being comfortable in your wrong.
Right. Absolutely.
If you're self-aware and you learn your learning style, you'll learn that that's not working for you. And then you can start to vocally tell people. You can get better with your verbal, and you can start to tell people, well, I learn better if you show me something.
Right.
Or I can you just write it down and send it to me? I'm big on don't text me everything you need to know. I'm big on call me, let me see you. I need to know. One, because I can read energy pretty good.
Yeah, that's good. That's a good way to put it, because you want to be able to know how you can pour it in. Because if you're just on the phone like a telemarketer, we have to have that same customer service when we call for their help. So if you get one, was on a meeting the other day, and she had a nasty attitude off top, but it was her job. She the one got the phone call to answer my call. I don't know how the chain went, but she answered my call. But by me just calm, cool, collected. Hey, how you doing? Yes, ma'am.
You
and that's just
right.
me, just Southern with them. Never been down south to live, but just Southern with them.
We was
Yes,
raised by
ma'am. Thank
our
you.
grandparents was in our lives predominantly, so that we got that old soul where it's like,
Right.
yes, ma'am, no, ma'am.
And
People
she
get mad at that.
Right. By the end of the conversation, oh, you have a wonderful day. I said, you too. But no, yeah, poor.
You heard that. She said heifer at the end, because we all.
But no, what we did, you know, once
I didn't put the phone on mute and call them a couple
but
names.
because I
and
didn't
then
match
y'all
your
back like,
energy.
It's okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and it's not, that's the
Yeah.
thing. A lot of the times, a lot of the day, we like to match energies, and that's not, you gotta be you constantly.
Know when to match the energy.
Yeah,
know
when to say no, and know when to hold them and fold them. Like, know when to hold them and fold them.
Right.
A lot of times, you don't need to go there. My 11-year-old told me 2 years ago, we was in traffic and we was riding down, and his teacher was talking to me about something. He did something in school. He's the active one. He's very live. So he doesn't transition very well. So he doesn't calm down easily. If he excited, he excited. If he mad, he mad. So to get him to transition from those two moods is a little different sometimes, a little difficult. So she was telling me how hyper he was being, but then a guy, we were going down in University Circle, because my oldest son is always at school, always doing something after school. We were going to go grab a snack or something, and the guy kind of like came around me and tried to cuss me out, and I was about to get to yelling at him, and he like, "Ma, don't even give it your energy." This the same boy who don't know how to transition told me don't give it my energy, and I was like, you right, son.
Yeah.
You right, son. But he was able to identify that at 9 years old and say, don't even give it your energy.
Yeah.
Even though he ain't practicing what he know yet.
Right.
It's coming.
He was still aware of a situation at hand on how it could help him, because you're better than that to cause the frustration from a whole nother car to be in your car, and it kept you nice and smooth, because there's that little voice literally like, hey, we better than that. You know that.
Don't be on that mind.
Yeah.
And I wasn't, but at the same time, it was just the fact that he was able to identify that. So sometimes it's not cool to match energy, because now you putting that negativity into you. You're not pouring. You're not providing. You're not offering. You're not uplifting.
Right.
And you're not rebuilding anything. You're just making more on top of more on top of more. So sometimes you got to learn how to stop, think, and pour. Got it? Stop, think, and pour. I like that. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Another thing that can get in our way is insecurity.
Very true. Very true.
We've all been insecure in something. I don't deem myself as an insecure person, but it's been some things that I've been insecure. It's one of them is, and it's not, you can't even really see it now, but I have a burn mark on my arm. It's been on my arm all my life. It's been there since I was a baby. It's actually here and on this side. And I didn't wear a lot of shirts that were shorter than this growing up, because I was insecure about those little burn marks. I mean, I have like one on my stomach, so I never really cared about a halter top. I'm a little older now, so I got a little more meat on my bones, but I've always, when I was younger, I was very slim, and I could have wore a halter top.
Yeah.
I ain't had no body, so who looking at me? I could have worn it.
But
at the time, I was younger.
Mm-hmm.
So who would have been looking? And I could have wore spaghetti straps, but I never did. I was never like the other girls. A lot of people probably deem me a tomboy. Don't care. But if they did, I did like sports, and I did kick with a lot of boys, because guess what? You females is messy, and y'all still is. So, I was being the tomboy because I didn't act a certain way, and we put labels on things. Let's worry about that's not pouring into people.
Right, that's a bad insecurity. Yeah.
So it to a point I didn't want to show that, and I was a little insecure when I was younger. As I got older, I'm like,
YOLO.
Yo, hey, look, I just went to Puerto Rico about a month ago, and guess what? They got this mom body. You gonna get this mom body. You gonna get all of this.
Big facts, yes, and I like that. And it was interesting, like she said, she was smaller growing up, and I wouldn't say I had an insecurity, but I had other ones. But being a big girl, meaty or whatnot, they was on it. Now it's the hottest thing out here.
The hottest thing
I'm
out
like,
here.
BBL, what is? They going to surgery? I'd be like,
I got it all already.
Can the waist fit? Because it's droopy here and there. Like, I'm worried about other problems. They don't even know. It's hard to fit certain clothes. When you
voluptuous.
Yeah.
When you voluptuous, it's difficult.
It's different. But
I ain't got that problem.
Say mom bod. So definitely embrace it, and I always loved it, because I could be me around my young boys and not they see enough of the nakedness. Like at the pool and things like that, just in general, is so much that I cannot put blinders over them.
Right.
And I'm okay with that. But I always represent myself great at home. And not only do I feel good doing it, I know that I'm a good representation. Like, hey, yeah, my mom do look good. She look nice. I come down fully, Mom, where you going? I'm like, you must be going out to eat with your friend. Minding our business, very much so. But I like that because they recognize that, yes.
Shouts out to the gang. We do a couple of little dinners with the girls every now and then. So we get cute.
Right. Yeah, other like-minded successors, definitely. Yes.
Shouts out, ladies.
Right.
You do for another one.
You're right.
So insecurities can get in the way of you even learning or trying to even learn. You're not even gonna care about learning something if you're insecure. Because at the end of the day, you don't, so you might be a solitary learner but you don't even realize that, and you ain't even trying to learn.
Right.
Because you don't want to vocalize what it is that you need to learn, or you don't even want to learn. Like Steph said, if you're a bigger girl, okay, what can I wear? What should I wear? You might not ask your friends. For me, I might not be like, well, I don't want to go to the pool because I don't want nobody to see my burn marks, And as a young lady, dudes is looking at your body, so you like, I don't want them to see this because then they gonna think I'm ugly. Now I'm like, you gonna get all this mom body that you get.
Because they be out here with their shirts off, and I'm like, but we gotta wear bra. I mean, TMI, but in the same token, they really be out here living. And I'm like, why y'all get to be naked? They ain't even.
Man, my son. I told her, because he be going over her house, and I said, if he spends the night over your house, Steph, please do not be aware. Be aware. He'll be naked.
Got an extra robe for now.
He don't care. He will be naked. He don't care. And he just like, bath water used to run, and I'll be running my own bath water, and he'll just come out the room naked, and I'm like, what is you doing? Oh, that's
not mine?
No, it's mine. I like to take baths too. He's like, oh, okay.
Go put your drawers on and just sit there. Wait a minute. Right.
Like you said, get a robe on or something. Like, cover that up. He sometimes goes in the bathroom, don't close the door, and me and his brother like, yeah, and my room faces the bathroom. And I'm like, yeah, that's not what I wanted to see. I was trying to watch my movie.
Right. Like, that ain't, what the hell, little naked kid.
But he ain't insecure, I'm gonna tell you that.
Right.
That's one boy that ain't insecure.
Right.
But the insecurities can't get in the way, just like your pride can get in the way of you actually learning. Resources can get in the way. Those are some things that can get in the way of you learning. Yeah. Financial status, education, you being an introvert, anything. Like, you being introverted, you might not even know what resources you have.
Yeah, be so closed-minded, too solitary in your learning ways to know, like, you're not getting nowhere. It might have worked when you was in high school to avoid certain things.
Survive. You were surviving. But how you gonna thrive?
Yeah. You got to get out there and learn something new. What goes to you? Start baby steps. A little social club. Go to the library. That's where it's a real controlled environment, for those introverts. And then you can find your resources. You don't have to worry about insecurities because everybody's coming here for the bigger picture that they can do what they need to do, and there's no prize. So that's a great start, you know? Yeah.
Some people didn't finish high school, so they feel like their education stopped there. So sometimes they think that their growth stopped there, and yes, it could, but I know a lot of people, like my sister didn't finish college, came back after she had a baby and finished college. I know a lot of people that do it. And I just want our males, we target males a lot on here, not saying y'all bad, but we got boys, so we try to pour into them. So we want to pour into our males, because our males supposed to be the heads of our household, so we're going to pour into y'all as much as we can.
We want to take more leaders.
And our teenagers. So a lot of males want to go back to school. We don't want you to go back to school just because you went to prison. We don't want you to go back to school. We want go back to school if you do get locked up. I'm just saying. But know that there's other education. Know that there's other educational resources that you can get. Your library has stuff. You can go to another training class. You don't have to be a college graduate to get some of these jobs. Some of these jobs are just on the job training, getting educated about it. HVAC, HVC. All you have to do is go to a school and
learn a few skills and pay attention, and then we have the world of the know. You could look up videos in between your class and tests to, if the teacher's not training you how you want to, dig deeper. So your money don't go away, so you can continue to obtain more and more skills, because you'll find something within those resources. So education doesn't stop. Excuse me.
No, you're good. Like, don't let lack of knowledge and your resources stop you from being the greatest person you can be, and being able to pour into yourself and pour into your family and pour into your community. Because when you are a productive member of the society, guess what? You're pouring into your environment.
Right.
You know?
Right.
She got these acronyms, and it's called REPS.
Yes. Responsible efforts produce strength. REPS, recognize every possible solution. REPS, restore energy, problem solve.
Yeah.
Yes. And
respect the environment, please strive.
Yeah. Yes.
You can't respect your environment if you have the lack of knowledge on how to do it. You can't pour into your environment and have those reps if you're not trying to learn something. So don't let the lack of knowledge or resources, there's resources out there. And we're going to try to provide resources at the end of each one just so that you have them as well. Excuse that, I didn't know that was going to happen. And then lack of drive.
Yeah, heavy. That's
lack of drive. Yeah. Like you're not driven, and it's okay. It's okay to not be driven, not determined. You're okay with the status quo, being okay with what's complacent and what's now, and just your unwillingness to change. Because if you have a lack of drive, you're like, I'm cool. Like I said, those 50-year-olds who like, I ain't gotta learn nothing. You ever heard the saying, can't teach an old dog new tricks? That is a lie.
Right.
You can be taught to be better, to be
can.
different, to change, to grow, and dogs can learn. You just gotta learn their learning style to teach them and to pour into them properly.
Yeah, and what influenced your learning style too is based off your culture. It's based off your personal experience and your maturity level, as well as how you're mentally developed. So there's even slower learners that are said to gain more knowledge because they're obtaining it at a slower level than a person with a high IQ. But that high IQ, they might recite something real quick and get it done and move on to the next one, where the slower learner might be, gradually, okay, whether they write it down, they're listening to videos over and over again, they're doing it themselves, they're learning that way works for them. So it's no wrong way. It's no wrong way. Yeah. So definitely grasp on that. I just wanted to also say too, as a kinesthetic and physical learner, found some famous people such as Michael Jordan, Jim Carrey, Tiger Woods, and Bruce Lee. And they're all
athletes.
Yeah, all athletes in some form. But Bruce Lee, it was more of a mental level to know his opponent. As well as Michael Jordan, yes, logical.
Learning your opponent, or you're learning your opponent. Michael Jordan learned his opponents.
Yeah,
he was able to watch the films and the footages to become a better basketball player.
Right.
He didn't care about but he knew that you couldn't go to your left, so he was going to take you to your left every time. He knew that you was weak down low, so he knew he was going to take it there.
Right.
He knew that you didn't guard or you were bad on your defense, so he'd just take threes in your face.
Right.
It's just like
nasty with it, right?
Bruce Lee, he had to, like she said, he had to mentally be prepared and to learn himself and learn his opponent. So he knows if his opponent is quick to anger, okay, I know I got him.
Right, because they're gonna be short-winded in a sense, because they're getting all the pals and wows and stuff.
And I'm just blocking you the whole time.
Yep, absolutely. Like smooth with it. What you say? Stirring up recipes. Yeah,
he just on the ropes doing little silly stuff, making you laugh, and then he come for the 1-2, and you out. So but knowing your predominant learning style and how to identify others in order to effectively, that's a big word, effectively communicate. Not just communicate, not just talk, but effectively communicate. Meaning being able, that's why I'm logical, because I want to know why. You can tell me something. My son did a funny story. I'm not gonna get too far into depth, but funny story. My son has camp this week, and it's Monday through Thursday, and it's from like 2:30 to like 3:30, 4 o'clock, right? So he's supposed to go do Lego brick camp, and in there they do 3D printing. So they build a little station or whatever, and then they print the Legos, 3D print them, and whatever he built comes out, right? So today he went to camp. I dropped him off. I didn't go in with him. First day I went in with him, told him I'll be outside when he got done, right? This day I didn't go in with him. I dropped him off, and I had a phone call. I was still on a meeting, so I took the meeting, and then I texted him around like 3:20, like, hey, I'm outside whenever you ready. And I kind of pulled closer to the front of the library. I was going to, finish up my call, and I'm like, I don't want to go in the library talking, and I'm still kind of on work, so let me finish my call in the car. And then he comes out around 3:30 and he comes out with some paintings. And I'm like, okay, what was he doing? They were supposed to be 3D printing. Like, this is a painting. So he tells me, he's like, guess what happened? He's like, I went into the classroom, the same classroom that he originally went into. He said, I went in the classroom, there was a bunch of adults, they told me to get out of there. He said, so then I sat there, I read a book, and then I went into this room, I seen everybody painting, and I seen one of the kids from my class that was in my class on Monday, and I went into the class with them, and we got to painting. So then, when that was done, she was like, okay, well, you can sit out here into the kids zone until, you know, it's time for you to go. So he went out there and he sat in the kids zone and he got on the computer. So by the time I text him, he comes out and he's like, yeah, I did all this. And I'm like, the whole time, my logic brain is like, oh, that was fun. I'm glad you had fun. Did you ever ask the librarian or the information? I said, did you see that big desk that says information? Because when I walked in on Monday, I saw information and walked straight there. And it was like, hey, where's the class at? They showed me where the class was. He's like, yeah, I didn't think about that. I'm like,
he just went logically in his sense was, I'm just about to be active. I'm sitting here to do the right thing, do great, so he was still creative. But yeah, he was like, you didn't even bother to see if it was in the back room or anything.
Moral of the story, he had fun, but look how logically he didn't even think, because there's a big old sign over every desk inside of every library. If you're from Cleveland, Ohio, you know that there are signs above a desk. There's a front desk, and then there's always an information desk, right? I didn't even go to the front desk when we walked in on Monday. I went straight to the information table and said, hey, because it's called information. They got the stuff you looking for.
Station.
So I didn't even go to the front desk. I know in the front desk you check out. They might have the information at the front desk, but I was like,
but
that desk.
You always towards the information, which is the center.
That desk is made for information. Let me go there.
Yeah.
He didn't do that. He just walked around the library and found things to do, which was great, and they were productive, and they were awesome. But he didn't even ask. All you had to do was just say, hey, I'm here from the Lego brick class. Oh, it's in room 3B today.
So they switched it up on them.
Because it was a small class.
Right.
So they probably switched it based off of the class size and was like, oh, we're putting it in a smaller, because they were in a bigger classroom. So since it was only a few people that came, they probably moved into a smaller room.
You know what it would have helped is definitely them having something visual, something quick. You are at the library, you could have printed out something for them.
And if he would have saw the visual sign, he would have went, because he's very
definitely.
visual and he's physical, hands-on. So when he painted, that's a physical thing. He was happy and I was happy, because I was like, at least he didn't go running around and he wasn't down somewhere else, because we was at a library we was on the west side, and I'm not that great with the west side, but he had a fun time. That was but it was just for me, my logical brain, we came in the car, I'm like, just go to the information desk. But I didn't say it like that. I was just like, oh, okay, I'm glad you had fun. Son, you know what, next time you should probably just ask. I didn't think about that, Mom. Okay. And you know that you could tell him, he's like, I did walk in and say, hey, I'm here for camp. I'm like, what camp? There's like 3 camps going on.
You gotta be
specific, effectively communicate. Hey, I'm here for the Lego brick camp.
Yeah. Because camp, they might just have center different ones.
He was in painting camp.
Yeah.
But he had fun, whatever. That's not what I signed him up for, but hey, he had fun that day.
Right.
I'm glad they had another camp for him. So the big takeaways is, to effectively communicate and pour into your community, and to pour into your life, to pour into the people into your life. And in the different areas that you go into, you're going to have to learn your learning styles.
Yes.
And that helps your perception.
Absolutely.
That helps your perception.
We want to make poor decisions, positive, poor decisions by providing, offering, uplifting, and rebuilding.
And the only way to rebuild something is you have to learn more.
You gotta learn more.
You gotta learn more.
Yes.
So let's pour into our communities. Again, if you want to buy a T-shirt. Come on, I know you didn't see all the shirts.
Yes.
All the proceeds go to the events that we host, and if you want to know more information about the different events that we host, check us out on our social media pages, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, YouTube.
See you next time. Thank you.
Till next time.